I'm gonna run you guys through a video. You see a lot of videos out here of like limitless builds, and from my buddy James, from Raz. You see a lot of that stuff, like, you know, how they do their cars and this, that, and third, and, you know, everybody has their preference, the way they like to do things, and, you know, that's awesome. And you guys can learn a lot from, you know, everybody's build videos and see how they do certain things. And, you know, it's awesome. Everybody shares content and we all build fast cars. It's pretty cool. So you don't see a lot of HOBAO. Actually, I've never seen a HOBAO build video, VTE2 build video of any kind of sort. So I made one, like a little one before, of like just showing like how like, you know, like to do things and da 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 da. But I want to do a video of a complete transformation, like, oh, coming from, you know, this being your standard HOBAO, you know, VTE2 2.0 bone stock. I'm gonna do this from start to finish, exactly how I build my cars. So it will turn out, you know, this will be the start, this will be the finish. This is, I don't know if you could see these all. Let me see here. Okay, you can see it pretty clear. I got like a GoPro going on. I'm not like very good at filming or anything like that. No, I'm actually horrible at it, but you know, this is what it is. So, you know, we're gonna go from that to that. Full through, 100% complete. How I like to build my cars. Hang this guy back up. I literally, I'll show you guys like in a picture on Facebook or something, but like, I literally build these rollers and just have them ready. They're just ready for, you know, I get a lot of different kinds of test motor and all kinds of stuff, and different chassis and test products and stuff like that. So I keep a lot of cars just the way they are. You know, I build them up, I try these things, like, but I like to always try everything brand new. You know, I don't like any variables in the way. Some people say it's crazy, whatever. I don't know, a lot of the companies I use, they like it because they know it's, you know, I could just focus on their product alone, you know, and give them the results they need based off of that. But, so this video, I'm going to have all the part numbers. These are just the ones for the bulkheads. I started opening up some packages just to like speed things along, make it pretty quickly. But, you know, I just want to start here with all the scorch stuff, you know what I mean? Then now, all this isn't like a must, you know? This is just the way I like to build my cars, and that's it, you know what I mean? Whether you guys want to build them just like this or build them differently, all my cars are proven to do 200 plus every freaking time, pretty much. Nah, you know, it is what it is, but this has worked for me. And you know, I got to post a video just last weekend. Even I ran a car 185 mile an hour, flipped, did a double back flip, smacked off the ground, landed back on the wheels, drove it back. You know what I mean? That's at 185 mile an hour. It's on video, you know, like. So what I build on my cars, how I build them, man, I build them to be tough, man. These are expensive, dude. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of money, man. You get out there, you one bad thing and it's over with. Nah, we ain't doing all that. Let's build these things tough. And I'm gonna show you how I build mine tough. And I want to show you things that you can do to avoid malfunctions in the car and all this and the third. You know, a lot of times some things will happen and it's just unavoidable. Shit breaks, you know. These cars are not meant to do this, but we make it do it, you know. So let's just get it started with the scorch stuff, right? I like to use scorched lockers, right? This is an old one I had. I run 2.6 gearing on all mine. Got all those part numbers right here. So that is OP0147, OP0146. That's the 40 and 15 tooth. So I build these up and I change the cups out. I don't like these cups. They tend to break. They're supposed to be lightweight cups, but they break. So the solution for that being is the GTB cups. These are way tougher, way better. They fit, everything works fine, works great. This is part number 87003. Use these cups, guys, way better. I haven't broken one yet, and ever since I swapped over to these, I've never broken a diff locker again. But yeah, I put these on my front, and that's the only place I can use them, because I use David's scorch parts in the back, you know, and they have to have their cups because the shaft links and all that, you know. So I use the through shaft in the back, so that's all got to stay the same. I can't change out the cups on that. I'm sure there probably is like a nicer, you know, EMP cup, but on David's behalf, I haven't broken any of the through shaft cups. I have lost the center ones before, and I believe he went through those different hardening process or whatever. However he does it, I don't even know, but they have been fixed. So good job, Dave. I like that. But I use these and these just because it's where I went, and it's proven now for me, and I don't like to change things once they're proven. There's no point for me to do that, and yeah, I just go with it. So that's the locker up there. Through shaft locker in the back, same thing. David's motor mounts, fucking best motor mounts in the game, man. These things are a work of art, man. I love these. They're real sharp. I use this full length chassis. Here's all the plates for it. You know, we're gonna get that whole thing put together, and I'm just gonna skip through that and show you the chassis all together at that point. This is a must for me too. I love these. These are truly awesome, man. Takes out a lot of the play in the front of the Hobao. The Hobao had some issues there with the steering and a lot of slop up front, and it's just something we have to take care of. Between these and these shims, my man James, appreciate you, brother. He guided me into these shims, man. These are awesome. I don't know if it's got a part number on there. I'll take a picture of it and you know, add it in there wherever, somewheres. But these are awesome. If you want, message James. He knows exactly what they are on Amazon to get them. Sorry, bud. Yeah, so that's the whole chassis. I like to use the Hobao diff cases. You guys all know I have all these on my cars. I normally run stock bearings, but for this one, I got some ceramics. You're gonna get these from Savora over at Saga. My man, good dude, solid dude. Like, takes care of me, man. Gets me all the shit I need a lot of times. I use all his lockers and I'm sorry. Towers. I use all his towers for my cars. Hold on one second. Oh, my bad. Girlfriend likes to play music. So yeah, these are, you know, I'm gonna build the chassis. We'll start with this, you know, and get all that on there, get all the towers put on there, give us something to start with, and then you know, I'll show you how I do the rest of it, how I do my shocks. I like to use these. And we'll get to that, but I'll show you how I do it with these. I use these on all my cars. I like them, you know, because using them hardened springs, and I run such a stiff rear, so I prefer these because they're metal. And the plastic ones, they tend to let go after a while. Like, they'll work for a while, but you'll notice, like, later on down the road, why is my car doing that? The bottom of the shock, like, came down the collar a little bit. So you'll see it. It's hard to explain, but I switched to them. It just works better. I like Island Hobby, Ozzy over there. I love these. This is like the only kind that I've seen so far for the Hobao. You know, if anybody else knows of any better ones, but we started off with these, and the pin tolerance wasn't too good, but we you know, we talked about it, and you know, he went through and did what he does and got it all worked out. The pin tolerance is awesome on these now. Works really good. I recommend these for all the dual cars. This will be a dual car, so I'm gonna have them on the front and back. Sometimes I don't put them in the front, but this car is gonna have a heavy system on it, so I'm gonna go for the front ones also. My single motor cars, I don't necessarily put them in the front. I have one car that does have them on there just because it was a dual, and I switched it over to a single, and I didn't feel like taking them off and doing all that. They were running fine and tight, so I just left them alone. But yeah, he's got good arms. These Energy turnbuckles, I like, or not turnbuckles, these are the linkages for the back. These are nice and solid, dude. They lock. I like them. You know, I don't know if you can see the part number there. Take a little screenshot or whatever. But yeah, these are pretty cool. You can get them in different colors too. I got like a whole bunch of these are some red ones there. They got them in like, you know, red, blue, silver, gray, all kinds of colors. I mostly just get the silver ones. I like them. They work really good. And the tolerance in this, it's got like a bushing in there, or like I don't know what you would call it, but it's like an O-ring or something in there, but there's no tolerance, so you know, everything just stays in place. It's like super stiff. More Savora stuff, springs, bearings, perfect pass. My man Raz, solid one right here. I love these shafts, dude. All my cars have carbon shafts. I truly do love them. I've only had 2 of them ever fail on me, and I think one was my fault. I think it was user error. So let's just, on the safe side, I'm gonna say I've only had one of these ever break on me, and I have them in all my cars. I even have some of the V2s, and still run them in my cars, and still have not an issue ever with them. Dude, these shafts are the shit. Raz did his thing with making carbon shafts, man. You got to think about it, even like race cars nowadays, dude, they all got carbon shafts. They're badass. Yeah, this is the I'll show you what I did with this too. But this is the floating mount for the back of the V2. This car will have it on there. Yeah, I mean, the rest is just like little top up parts. We'll get into all that. Yeah, I mean, rear hubs, all that good stuff. Yeah, man. So that's like the introduction of the video. So we're gonna stop here. I'm gonna switch back when I got the chassis built, and I'll put the differential cases all on there. There ain't nothing special about that. You're just screwing stuff all together. Get the towers on, and you know what I mean. We'll get started from there. All right. Check back with you soon. GoPro, turn off. Or GoPro, stop recording. All right, I lied. So I'm just gonna put everything together with you guys on camera. All right, now we got a chassis. So my next step, I like to take, I'll make sure everything's lined up, looks good, voila. I like to move on to the diff housing. Now, we can put this guy aside for right now. Start with these. Got our nice diff housings, man. These are, Hobao did such a good job with these. Me and James were just talking about this. Or was it James? I don't know. I think it was James. Or no, me and Savora were just talking about this. I don't think anybody has ever made a better gearbox than this. The tolerance is just so nice, you know what I mean? Like, and the bearings don't, I don't know, man, everything about them is really nice. So you get these oil pens. They're from I get mine from David. I like to lubricate because they're such a tight fit. So I lubricate all this just a little bit, rub it around, get all this set up for the bearings. And I guess while we're at it, I'm gonna drop in the bearings for the rear the rear hubs also. Hobao rear hubs, 775 aluminum. Same thing. I'm just trying to do things efficiently here for the video. That's why I opened up a lot of packages and all that. And we're going to, I'm going to put all the part numbers inside the comments, or what, not comments, whatever the hell, description. These are hybrid ceramic bearings. These are like Apex 7, you know. They're really good. These are dry right now. They spin for a while. They keep going. Pretty nice. I like them. I use them. And I always load everything dry. And then I go back and I oil everything. Now, you know, everybody's got their method to their madness. But for me, this works best for me. Figures. One time I get making a video. Oh yeah, that's a good tolerance right there. You see that? Now look, I don't know if you guys can see in there. Make sure it's seated all the way in there. Watch on the next one, I'll show you how you can tell. But I'm so used to doing these. I've built so many of these damn cars that I know where it's at, where it's supposed to sit. So I'll do it with this one first, so you can kind of see. It's always best to do the inside one first. And if you don't get it like seated just right, when you go to push it down, it should drop right in. See? Just like that. First one I fought a little bit, but you can see how that one's seated in there pretty well. Now, it's best to do the inside one first so that you can look in there and you can see that it's all good. Now, a lot of times you can, you know, oil them all up right now, get all that done while it's holding it. You're not getting it all messy all over your hands. I like to soak these things. I don't know if it's a right or wrong way of doing it, you know what I mean? But that's how I do it. I always put the rubber side in. I like the metal out. I'm an asshole. I did the opposite on that one. So, we'll see. I don't think it makes a difference, you know? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. So, load them up with bearings, right? And, like, you know, as I'm doing this, I like to do them, like, almost fully through, right? So, I would grab my shafts. And I would grab the... let me get this open here. Grab my shafts. Should have had all that unpacked already, but... it is what it is. Grab the cups out of there. And like the spool, something that I do like all the way at the end. So I'll get all my cups out. Oh, I guess I only need 2 right now. A couple of these grubs. Got 4 of them. Perfect. Alright. I'll put these aside for right now, because we're not going to need any more of that stuff until pretty much the end. Grab some Loctite. A little baggie here, that'll work. Get yourself going, a little bag. A little blue. A little more than that. I don't know if you could see that on camera, but you're not missing nothing. I like to lay a little spot here. A little blue, a little bit of red. Sit something on it so it doesn't blend together. Maybe we'll put this on there for now until we get this all done. Alright. Pop the bearings in the rear while we're here. Let's just push down, make sure they're sitting right. Good. Good. Alright, put them aside for later. Drop your gears in. And make sure that them things are seated right. Drop them in there real good. I just wanted to count that gear because it just didn't look the same. 1 second here, guys. Yeah. Alright. Got that in there. Come over. Grab your grub. And dip it in a little bit. Oh shit. I like the red. I always put red on the drive line. It's just my preference. Some guys, they put red on everything. I mean, hey, if it works, it works. Getting it off is a different story. But on my cups, I like to use the red. And on my through shafts, I like to use the red on there also. Because that stuff, like I said, it doesn't really break. So it's best to just put that red on there. And, yeah, man. Now I like to hold my finger on it, get them started. Now, I'll show you something later on. I should probably do it now. Actually, yeah, I think I'm going to have to do it now. So, on the Hobao, well, yeah, I guess it's only on the Hobao. I need to make sure that's tight. One grub screw has to be sanded down. So, it'll hit the block. Now, I ain't got it set up, but I got my Dremel here. I always usually leave a sanding wheel on it. I just sand it down a little bit. Just nothing. Goes pretty quick. Throw that on there. And that's just like 120 grit or something like that. That's one. And I just sand it down a little bit. And then this way, they got the block in the front, I want to say it is. I think it's the front one. One of them. Yeah, the front. Yeah. So the rear, you're good. You don't have to do that. So we'll set this one as the front, and this one as the rear, because like I said, they got this little block, and there's only enough room for the for everything to go around smoothly. So this one, as you can see, they stick out a little, you know. And on the front, you got, yeah, I mean, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be pretty much down smooth with it, you know. But, you know, in the rear, it can pass, can go around it, I believe. I don't know. I always have to look at it over and over again. Some of these things you just do them and you don't ever get it fully right. Always forget something, you know. So now normally I move on to the lockers. This one is complete, but I guess I'm gonna do it on video real quick. I want to snatch these apart. Oh shit. Actually, we'll run that one until it breaks. How about that? Yeah, they're in there tight, you know what I mean? Alright, so which one's my front? This one. This one's my front. Drop that in there. I always check how much room I got there. Now, I don't necessarily shim these too often. They're usually really good. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to add a shim, but 90% of the time you don't. Alright, so, I mean, that one's pretty much done. Put that one together. I'll screw that all together. That'll be it for that one. Now, like I said, I like to use the GTB cups. They are 100% better and they do not break. That one, I'm going to have to put some heat on it. I ain't going to do all that in a video right now. You know what I mean? Alright, David's locker here, or through shaft locker. Pretty gnarly. Bearings are already oiled. They say always add more. But yeah, I haven't really ran into many problems with that. So we're gonna throw this through shaft locker on real quick. Get that all set up. Remember to use Loctite on these, not these screws, just the cups and the grub screws on the actual locker. I'm pretty much just like, you know, the car itself is over there. It's still, we haven't even touched it yet, you know. We're going to end up tearing that thing apart. Now, right here, you got some play with these. Now, I noticed I like to bring it in all the way so that the shaft is right at the end of the inner cup. So, what we'll do now, I need some more Loctite. I'm using a lot. I'm just going to dip it on here for right now. I put a hefty amount on these because I don't like this stuff moving on me. You know what I mean? So we'll get that bad boy nice and tight. It's on a flat spot. Alright. Alright. Grab our gear. Drop our gear down on it. And I'll show you where I do the, I don't Loctite this stuff right here. Because for some reason, like, Hobao stuff, man, I don't know what the deal is with it. But you put it on there, for the most part, it don't come back off. You know, you just seen that one right there. I just tried to get, I mean, I just put everything I had in that thing before I strip it. I'm going to have to put some heat on it. But their stuff doesn't move, man. The hardware that they use and thread, it's good stuff. I love it. I'd much rather use the stock hardware than any kind of like random hardware. Like if I always need like a screw for something, I'm always like searching through all my stuff to find the Hobao stock hardware stuff because it's good, man. Stuff holds tight. So now, once we get this all on there, I'll show you what I do here next. Alright. So I like to get these loose for a second. I like to make sure I know that I'm on a flat spot. See how I can't move? Because I only backed it out a little bit. And usually, your flat spot for this one is on the opposite side. So you can tell. So what I do is I just loosely bring it in. So it's just a little loose. And then I know I'm in the flat spot. I don't have to take it all apart and look at it all crazy. And I just leave it like that, right? And we got our bearing. Put your bearing on. Put the other one on. And I'll push it all down, right? And bam, it's right to the edge of the cup. Right to the edge of the cup. I know this is in the center now. So I'll back this out with the correct screwdriver. Lose it. Drop it on the floor. Screw up the whole video, right? Like I said, put a good amount of that on here. And man, let it ooze out. That's what I do. Tighten it up. Wipe it off. Not a big deal. I grab a rag. Alright, now remember, this is still loose, right? And now I keep that loose for this reason right here. And I put it in. I want to make sure everything lines up good. I like it. Looks good. Alright. I tighten one. Bam. Alright. Take that out. Now I got the mesh. I like where I have it at. Now I know that's going to stay there because I just tightened one of them down dry. Put a good amount on this. Drop it back in. Tighten it down. And repeat the process. Try not to let that get into the, you don't want that Loctite getting into that bearing. So keep an eye on that. Make sure ain't nothing there, no extras. Hear that little? That's it. That's the spot right there, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Check it out. You like it? Throw the case on. Done deal. So, now you got two of them set up. You got your front, you got your rear, and now we can jump back into the chassis. So what I'm going to do is just screw all this stuff up. I'm going to cut it for right now, get set up for the next little part, and we'll move forward from there. All right? GoPro, stop recording. All right, so you got your standard HOBAOVTE2 2.0, brand new stock. Pretty much what we're going to do with this is break it down. I don't necessarily like to do this with new cars, honestly, because like I do break down a lot of it I don't use. You're going to see that. And I'd rather see people just get a full car and enjoy it. You know what I mean? But yesterday, I should have recorded the video yesterday, which was one of these. Oh, wait a minute. I can't even show that, but it was just a bunch of parts, you know what I'm saying? So that was different. I should have did the video like with that instead of breaking down a full car, but I guess most of you are just going to buy the full car. You're not going to buy the, you know, whole parts. So what we're going to do right now is just break everything down, and on the actual edited video, we're going to fast forward through all this. So I'm just breaking it down, that's all. Whole car's dismantled. I take off the chassis. I take off the prep guards. Put all that in a box. Battery straps and the body mount for the side, they're gone. The box, I use the box. Some people don't use the box. I do. I like to still keep all my stuff in the box because when I'm done speed running, I like to wash it all, you know what I mean? And it's just easier keeping all that stuff in there. All right, motor mounts, drive shafts, all that good stuff. Sometimes I keep the spools, because the stock spool works really good too. Different cars, different setups. I run different stuff, but all this in the box. All right, now you're left with pretty much front and rear. I'm trying to pop this guy out. There it goes. You don't want to lose these inserts. Do yourself a favor, you can get a pack of these. Now on your V1, you used to be able to take the front block, right? Like this one. And you used to be able to transfer it to the rear, bam, right? And then you wouldn't have these cups no more. You wouldn't have to worry about that. You know, you warp these out. They get a little play in them after a while. But the front end, let me see if I have one right here. Well, here's the other issue I was going to explain to you. So let me get to that real quick before we bounce to the front end thing. All right, so look, if you get the 0.25, it's part number OP0116. With the rear block, you get, it's part number 85145. If you get these two on your V1s and you put the 0.3 towards the inside, it creates a 0 with 4 millimeters of extra space in the back. So you can transfer the OP part, the OP front rear, with the rear blocks on the differential case. you can then gain the 4mm on your V1s. So it'll loosen that up a little bit. You don't want these dog bones or none of that stuff to bind. You know, that's just not good at all. Because then they'll bend, they'll have vibration, all that crap. It just sucks. So basically what we're doing here is stripping this rear down fully. I just want to get to this block right here. So now that I got to that, I want to take this off. I have new ones here, but I'm trying to show you like the whole breakdown from a stock brand new car to a complete, you know, my version of a professional speedrun car, I guess you could say. I don't know, however you want to call it. So, like I said, these two, you can use them on your V1s. Has to be the OP0116 with the same inserts, and you will have a 0 toe at that point with your V1s, and you'll have the extra 4mm. So it helps. But yeah, that's that. So we finally got to that block. That's what I was chasing the whole time. So I want to add that onto the back of this, right? So we put the tower on it. Now we're going to add the block on, right? You can't do this with it being on the chassis because it's got these little pegs right here that got to drop in the inserts of the chassis. So you want to get to these blocks on the front and the rear. Right now we're just working on the rears. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. You cannot use that screw either because these are not drilled the same. That's a long screw. You got to use a short screw that comes with the case. Now the cases have all the screws. They actually come with all the screws. They come with the shims and all that good stuff. Something else too. Oh, for the sway bar, like the little block for it. So now you got that on there. It's locked in the position it needs to be. You can put that back aside because we got the other front rear off of there. So that will sit there along with the inserts. So now that's all there with the pins. We can use our aftermarket pins. We can use our aftermarket, what do you call them? Goddamn tie rod or whatever the hell. Yeah, so you got all that. So the next thing you want to do is you want to get off the hardware. Just the hardware you're going to use. So in this case, we are going to use it as a V2. So we're going to take these little parts of the hardware off. This is for the rear body mount so that it can freely move up and down. And I'll have to show you how to do that with the carbon towers. If you guys are doing it for the drag racing, you're going to want to flip it to the inside to make it fit with the body right. And then, you know, speed running with FC100s, they stick out farther, so you don't have to really necessarily worry about that. So let's get this hardware off. Next, so we're just going to crack them by hand and then jump into it with the gun. And you guys that are on live, you can well, when I upload this video, you could see everything a lot better. I'm just doing that just to kind of, I don't know what you would call it, publicity, bring some, you know, bring some eyes to it. So yeah, we got all that off. We're going to take these off because we're going to keep them. So that's the next part. Get them off real quick. Now this is on plastic, so I'm not really too worried about it. You could use the gun with that, but actually, you know what? Let me, never mind. I was going to set up the gun with a, oh, wait a minute, hold on. You can keep all this on there. I'm tripping. You got to take the bottom off. Leave this top part on there, because we're going to take them all off in one piece. But we're also going to use metal rear hubs, so I'm not going to use any of that stuff. Alright. So we got our left one here. just gonna put all these aside for right now. Nail it right. I think on the actual video, I might I don't know. I gotta fast forward through a lot of this because nobody really cares about the breakdown of it, you know. Damn it, I did it again. I took off the top one. Just did the same exact thing over there. And you kind of want to I always lay everything out for how it's going to go back on. You know what I mean? You don't want to get yourself confused with stuff. Some guys do it differently, you know, however it works for you. But I like to lay it out just how it's going back on. You know what I mean? So I can just easily grab everything. All right, so after that, we got all that apart. All that apart. That's good. We're going to take the hardware off for the turnbuckles. Let's get them. And then all that, what we're going to do is we're going to start just putting everything back together with all the other new parts. I guess you could say the Hobao is pretty much, you know, became like the Limitless in a sense of what's left to make it a Limitless. Now, here's the thing though, you don't have to do all this. I do it this way because it's the way I like them set up, you know. It's not needed. You can literally take this car, and I've done it when they released this car. I got the car, I threw a body on it, I changed the driveline, you know, obviously I put a different mount, and I put my shafts on it, I checked everything out, I shimmed it the way I wanted it shimmed, but for the most part, that car was probably 95% stock. So, and it cracked the 201 first run, literally. You know what I mean? Just took it off of the bench after looking it over and shimming it up the way I want. And now what we're doing here is just getting this out for the rear hubs, these hexes, and the rear cup. So sometimes these things can give you problems pulling the pin out. This one went smooth, but if it gives you a problem, look at that. Good job, HOBAO. Look at HOBAO. You see this? Look at HOBAO. Starting to add the shims in. I like it. Nice. So normally, you know, the rear and the front, you want to use them shims I was telling you about earlier with James. Them shims work really good. So, all right, let me get rid of that. Now we got all this. See, we're just accumulating the hardware, really, at this point. And like with yesterday's build, this is what I was trying to explain, that, you know, and even these like little inserts, I don't use these. I just use metal washers because I like things to be secure and, you know, stay that way forever and not change. Anything like those little plastic inserts, like, yeah, all that stuff works great. No problems at all. But, you know, I'm trying to build cars that go 200 miles an hour every time. I don't want failures in any kind of way, shape, or form. Now, you can run these things and that not be an issue. And enjoy it, you know, and like I said, it not be a problem. But if you want to run a car 200 plus miles an hour all the time, better build it tough, you know, because, you know, the roads got humps in them and all kinds of shit happens and all that good stuff, and you will crash. It's inevitable. You are 100% going to crash. I ain't met a fast driver yet who hasn't. So you're going to lose cars. You're going to lose a lot of money and all that stuff in between. So the best thing you can do is another rear hub done. Now that's it pretty much. The best thing you can do is build these pretty tough. So, you know, that's about all I use out of that. So, yeah, it's done. Take the rest of it, drop it in. Now I would move on to the front, but for right now, I'm going to focus on the rear. Just because this whole video, you know, making it work, be long and boring and useless. All right. Let's get our chassis up here. Got all kinds of stuff in the way now, but so let me kind of just get this together a little bit here so that we can proceed with a better video. Alright, running out of space here. Alright, so we got the whole setup right now, right? That's these on. I'm gonna push this side, and this side. What I want to do is I just want to get everything back into the spot where it's gonna be. So when I go to put the arms on, all I'm doing right now is just putting the hardware back where it needs to go. That's all. Simple as that. Dropping that in. Put this in. So you don't want to lose nothing. So this is just the way. It's the way I do it. I don't know, like I said, everybody got their own ways of doing everything. Pretty much build everything up with the rest of the hardware. You got your rear hubs here. Drop them in. And you could set that back all up real quick. Put your hex together. Line the hole up. Drop the pin in. Bam. Tighten that thing down. Pair of pliers and these two tools, man. Build the whole damn car. Alright. Tighten that up. That one's good. Next one. Once again, I don't know how I'm gonna like edit this video to make it not so fucking boring, but we'll see. Some guys like it like this. Some get bored with it, don't watch it. You know, it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it, but I figure for the people who want to know and want to see how to do it, it'd be best to just make a video and show y'all. So for now, I'm not quite sure where I want to go with my shock position with this one. I don't know. For right now, let's see. I'll go right here for right now, just to see. Different setups require different, oh, you know what? I think I might have the wrong screws here. This might be for the, these look a little long. I think these ones might be for the, there are ones. Yeah. Actually, you know what? No, I gotta check this. Sorry, guys. Made a mess up here. These are not the right ones. These are, I believe. Let me just check them, make sure. Ain't that a bitch? They are the same. Alright, so this is what you gotta watch what you're doing with your hardware. And don't get it mixed up. But for our sake, they made these ones a little longer. So I'm going to show you why I don't like this screw being so long. And it's part of securing the shock. And it's a really easy technique that I don't know if you guys have ever like did a run where your car did some flips and all that, and then you get it back and you see that the shocks are all torn up and took the brunt of it, falling apart and all that nonsense. Well, what you could do is you get one of these washers, right? that come with the kit. It's just like a recessed washer, like, you know, I don't know what the hell you would call that, but you put it with a screw on like this, and it secures the shock onto it. I'm not gonna put it all on there right now, but you put it on there like that, and then it's like that. So you see that you can screw it in there because this is fully threaded all the way through. So once you do that, then no matter what kind of hit your car takes, that shock will not come off. You know, and I haven't seen one yet that has, and I've been doing that for a while now. And I just put a little screw in there, and that's it. I've had cars before I get them back, and you know, shock came off, this, that, and the third. Just works, you know what I mean? So, all right, we got that going on. Let's get to cracking in the arms here. So we got a little foundation here. Now you gotta watch it. I don't know if these ones came with it. I have seen some of them. Yeah, this would be one of them that doesn't have the little washers in it. Now these things, the tolerance is good on the pins, but what do we got here? Right there. But they need to be shimmed in a little bit sometimes. All right, so we got it like that, right? Now these inserts, right? You got the 03s there for the back. You got the 1s. Now you could put the one up or down the 1 degree, all right? So this is like anti-squat stuff if you have them up, you know what I mean? Like, so you could do that and it'll help tighten it up. Or I mean, help with some of the squat. But I like to have them down, because I think I'm running real stiff rear. I could be wrong. I could have that backwards. I'm not sure. Explaining it to you. But drop the pins in. All right. There you go. Make sure you got the right control arm. Or A-arm. Whatever you want to call it. Drop them down on there. The other one. You got it the right way. Drop them down on there. All right. So now you're left with this. Got it all set up. Hopefully, like this whole camera angle thing works out for y'all. It only takes 2 of these washers that come with the chassis. This is what I use. I put the 2 washers on there. Bam. Bam. Grab your rear. Grab it with the pins. With the 0 degrees in. Now, other guys swear by, you know, they want the toe on the rear. Or other guys like 0, you know, or, well, actually, I ain't gonna lie. Everybody seems to like the toe in on it. I don't. I like it 0. That's just how I rock with it. And it works for me. So once you get those in, now you got a little, you know, no play there at all. Just with one of those washers. So this isn't sitting fully against the diff case, like 100% flush. It's got a little bit of room there. But it's all good, because once you drop these in, it just tightens that up just right. Now I'm going to start it with this, but I don't like to go tight with them. It's like I said, man, you just got to hand tighten these, dude. But Hobao, man, I'm telling you, can't keep saying it. There's screws lock after. All right, bam. So now you got nothing. There is nothing there at all. And look, perfect. So now you got that to start with. You can jump into your old turnbuckles, or whatever the hell you want to call them. What do they call them on here? Linkages. These are for a limitless, but they are the exact same size for Hobao. So make sure you got the little side that goes up. Yep, that goes out to towards the wheel. And I like to face them this way. And the only reason why I say this specific way with the label facing towards the rear of the car is the access to the grub screws. If you do it any other way, it doesn't work within these. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's got to be lined up just right. Now, I don't let me see. I usually check these and make sure they're equal, and that's good. And I'll just run them like that for right now. I'll have them just like that for right now. That's all. And then later on, after, I'll adjust everything. So, all right. I wonder if you can see anything. Anybody see anything on the live? You can just probably hear it. So now I'll drop these in. You know, got R and an L. Pretty obvious. You know what I mean? Stick them in right there. And we're going to get to the whole washer thing again here in a second. Let's grab these. Put these in. Start it. You got 2 holes on these. That's what's pretty cool. You got way more settings with these. The metal ones, I like to use it on the bottom. Run that in halfway. Just till it's, I'll do one at a time. So just so that it's coming through the other side, right? And then I take, I think it's 4 of these washers. I'm pretty sure. I think it's 4, yeah. Take 4 of these washers, right? Put them all together. Slide it up in there. Push it through. Bam. And I pull these to the back. It makes the dog bone line straight up. Like that. Throw a little screw on there loose. Same thing on the other side. Start it. Run it in the bottom. I mean, this is like common sense stuff. The only little difference is like the washers and how many it takes and all that stuff. So I guess you guys can get your little, make it easier for you at least. You know what I mean? Just knowing if you get this chassis, you get this kit, you get this setup. This is exactly how to do it pretty quickly. 4 in there. Run it through. Put that on. Bam. Alright. And then, like I said, we got this one facing that way, this one facing that way. Hit this guy. Drop him on. Get that started. There we go. Same thing on this side. Hopefully you guys can like see everything. I really don't know. This whole thing might be a waste of time, even just trying to do it on video. But you know, I swear to God, I probably build 2 of these a month, and like during the winter time. You know what I mean? All right, so we got all that on there. What we're gonna do is just run through, tighten everything up a little bit, make sure it's you don't want to forget anything behind. Oh, I forgot to show you guys too. Some of you guys know, some of you don't. When you have this when you have this diff case, you gotta order this also. Let me see the. I'll give you the part number. I'll make sure I put the part number. But this is a separate piece that does not come with the diff case. You need one of them for the rear. The diff case is identical for the front and the back, obviously, but you need that one piece for the rear of it. It's for the back of the brace to sit on. All right, so now we got almost a complete rear here. Some of the dog bones for, you want to check these, always make sure they're identical. Drop that in, and then you gotta finagle everything. You gotta hold it all together while you put the top part on. Maybe there's an easier way of doing it. I don't know. But I always just kind of like, wow, put it there like that. Leave it in that position. We're going to tighten these up too in a second. But I like to get everything together and make sure nothing's binding up when I do that. So we're going to drop this one on next. Let me find okay, here's the screw for that. So now this is the part where you gotta like finagle it all. So it goes in to the rear top hole is the one I usually do. Actually, let me double check that, but I believe it is. So once we get it on there, you got the top inner hole there. So you're going to start with the plastic, hit it through the top inside, top inside corner. And we're going to see if that's the right one. It looks like it is. Through there, push it all the way through, bam, done. So grab that little nut and we'll get that on there. And at the same time, we're going to finish up this whole little side right here. I'm shaking the camera around and all. Tighten that down. You just want to snug that up because it's like plastic on plastic there. So you just want to make sure, just a little bit of tension on it. And now we're going to hit the bottom one. Same thing, nice and snug. Everything's moving beautifully. That's why we like it right there. All right, same thing on this side. All right, so we're going to start top corner. All right. Sit this over top corner, inside corner of the rear hub, through turnbuckle, all the way through, back out, inner hole. Now you can change this. These settings are for how high you want the top. I go on the top side because I like it at the lowest. If you go in the bottom, it's going to push it up higher. So that's what all that's about, all the different little settings on that. I like to try to get everything as low as I can. It just depends. Now, this year, I'm going to be running some single cars also. And what I'm going for there is I'm pushing the bodies down real low. So everything's sitting low. I want less air resistance to see how fast I can get one of the singles up to with minimal effort from the car. And when you're doing that, I'll be adding a diffuser. So basically, with a diffuser added, all that's doing is allowing more downforce from the top of the air. So if the car's going, right, you got a nice flat bottom car, right, like so. Nice flat bottom car. You got that air passing through it, right? Well, that air creates uplift in the back. It creates like a turbulence. It comes up. So when you have that diffuser, what it's doing is letting the air pass smoothly, so you're not punching through the air. It's all aerodynamic. So with a diffuser there's less air pushing up on the bottom of the rear, which means now you can drop your body lower because that air passing underneath, you don't need as much downforce. So you have to have your body higher to have a planted car when not using a diffuser because you need to push down on it, right? And because you got all that air pushing up. So it just works out when you have a diffuser. You can then have your bodies real low so that you can cut through the air better. It's just passing underneath you better and allowing the less downforce than you would if you didn't have one. You know what I mean? So that air that's coming over the top, it's pushing down. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain. I can't explain it to you how I really want to, but you know, that's the gist of it. You want the air to move. When using a diffuser, it'll be moving the air through the bottom of it so that the top can push down. Now, when you don't have that, then you're having the air push up, so you have to ride the body higher to keep pushing back down from the air that's even pushing up. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if you do or don't, but that's what's going on there. So there's that little piece of knowledge. All right, so we pretty much got the rear done other than the whole rear body top. You know what I'm saying? I do that last because I like to get a little fancy with it and add blue screws and stuff like that, but we'll get to that point. So for right now, we got pretty much it set up, you know, the way we want to do it. We're going to get into the shocks next. But for now, I'm going to attach this in here. So I got this plate here. You can just set that plate right in. Right, it's got these holes. You know what I mean? So you can line everything up, drop that plate on there. That covers up the bottom. And what these plates are doing is it's dropping this, but it's creating a level drive line also. So it's really beneficial for the Hobao to have this. Yeah, man, this is a beautiful chassis, man. These are the full expert length build chassis, and I run these on every one of my cars. Every one of them, about 15 of them over here, and each one of them has one of these on there. I love them. I truly believe that, you know, it is the top chassis. Oh, sorry, here. You got the little bumper here. You gotta put that guy back on too, and then run. All right. So that is pretty much it for the rear, other than the shocks, and we're about to jump into that right now. So, all right, let's see. All right, got all our shocks right here, right? I like to use the hardened springs. I get these from Savora. When I use my duals, I like these ones and the Joe Diaz springs. I'm not sure if these might even, I don't know if these, yeah, I don't know. These springs are good. Joe Diaz springs are good too. When I run the singles, the Perfect Pass Limitless ones work the best for me on my singles. Now, I'll put the short ones up front and I'll put the longer ones in the rear, since I run, like I said, I run a stiff rear. So I'll use those, the Perfect Pass ones, on my single motors in the rear. And it's like perfect. It's perfect balance right there. It works really well. So with my Hobao ones, right, I get these. They're hot racing ones. I'll use the bottoms there and the rings also right here. And what I'll do here, I'll show you, is pretty much tear these ones down. And I just changed the springs on the front ones, right? So we're just going to focus on the back ones right now, right? So what we'll do is snatch this off, grab a pair of needle nose, right? Unlock it, take that, rip that off, pull the spring. You can pull this rubber off if you want to. I mean, or you can leave it on there. It don't really matter. I'm going to do the same thing here. Pull this back, unlock it, pull that off, take those, back in the box. Springs, back in the box. All right. Get these ones right here, these rings, take them out. Take these rings off. Now these work good in the front, and the 2.0s, they added more thread to the shock, so you can actually like compress them a lot better. If you're just using the stock springs, you could like so much more. This was like half of that before on the V1s. So Hobao listens to the people, man. I gotta give them credit on that, dude. They really do. And you know, if you find an issue in this car and you say something to them about it, they're more than likely gonna produce all the next ones with a fix in it, you know. So you take those rings off, back in the box. All right, let's open our shocks right here. Pull them out. Pull them out. I don't use any Loctite on these things because they're compressed so hard. I don't think they're ever gonna fucking move, to be honest with you. All right, so what you're gonna do here is just put the bottoms together. It's all straightforward. Put that guy together, put it aside. That guy, put it aside. All right, now we got our shock, right? Just like that, we get the ring, right? I put the ring on. I try to get just one full loop, and I can't pull it back off, right? Lock it in. Bam. Just so it just catches. So I'll do this with the same one, right? Put it on there. See how it's not catching? Just caught. The light goes, right? So bam, I know it's right there. Perfect. All right, hold that in place. Once you get it to stay, you gotta make sure it catches. Right there. Tighten it down. You always want your shocks to be the same, and that's why I like these rings, because they lock. There's no moving that. It's not coming out again. You know what I mean? Try to make things like permanent, with, you know, without being permanent. You know what I mean? So that stuff's all solid, right? All right. So now we got our springs. We got all that ready. Come up here. Get yourself some zip ties, right? Get your zip tie. Get your spring. Go through the bottom. Back over. Pull it tight. All right, grab yourself a little pair of pliers. Same thing on the other side. All right. Loop it through. Make sure it's across from the other side. And just pull them tight. Make sure it doesn't slip out like that one just did. All right, now you got them compressed all the way. You don't have to do this with any other springs, but the hard springs, they're a pain in the ass, you know. So you get that guy on there. All right, you got the little, it's got it loaded or whatever. Take your shock tool. Take this bottom off. Don't need that no more. All right, you got your shock just like this. I like to move that little rubber piece out the way. Put the shock on. Put the bottom on. Well, it's going to stop when it's in its spot. Wait a minute. This is why I like to... Normally I take that rubber off. Some people might have a heart attack for doing that, but I like it so it don't move. All right, that's locked. So now you got it there. Everything's good. Like where you want it. Yeah. Snip. Snip. All right, that one's done. Pull this out. Getting a little excess of, if you get a little piece in there, you can see these are strong, dude. Trying to get that out. Normally they don't really break off in there. There it goes. Pop it right out. Usually you push them to the side, they'll slide out from there. But bam, there you go. Now you got a complete shock, pretty quick and easy. Thing's super strong, man. You know, I run it real stiff. That's the way I like it. A lot of torque. I feel like it works. Works for me. All right, yeah, just pretty much repeat the pod. All right, there we go. All right, so let me start this over again too. I'm trying to record a YouTube right here. So got a phone call, everything got messed up, but I think we left off at the shocks. This little screw right here, I don't know if you guys can see it too. I mean, it's a little washer, a little cap. So this right here, you can stick on the end of this, right? And your shock will never pop off. I mean, if you guys are like doing bashing and all, you could probably do the same thing, you know? I got these little cap heads right here I use. I grab 2 of them bad boys out of there. Get this, put it on the flat side. Right there. Get that. Screw it right on. And now if you could see, it locks that into place. There's no play in that whatsoever. Now with the speed run stuff, you want everything, like, you know, obviously other than like dog bones and stuff like that, you don't want that stuff binding up. But all this other stuff, you know what I mean, secure it and get the play out of it, man. You know, like I said, dude, you guys will crash. Well, just keep it in one piece, dude. This is a solid rear, you know. Not much to it. Everything's locked in. Metal washers, no plastic, no nothing. You know what I mean? Keep your stuff strong. And don't worry about the weight, because honestly, you need it. You know what I mean? Like, these cars, the power to weight ratio is just ridiculous. You know? So you kind of just need the weight there. But, alright, so, I guess we can drop this motor mount in real quick. It'll help us in the with the front end and all that good stuff too. So what do we got here? All right, so we got the Scorch motor mount. I guess that's up next. These things are awesome. You know what I mean? Love them. Love them. And grab some of these, some carbon shafts from Raz. They're always great. Alright, now I'm just gonna pretty quickly throw a spool together here. I'm not necessarily gonna put any gearing on it right now or anything like that. We can do like a video where we get into all that. Right now I'm just gonna like focus on the roller and get all that, like, you know, all the mechanics and all that good stuff set up to where you guys got a nice solid foundation. And then, you know what I mean, maybe we could choose a motor and rock out from there and do something with it. That'd be pretty cool, you know. And we can go about like setting that whole thing up and getting the most out of it, document it. That'd be, I think that would make for a pretty cool video. But just work with me here. See these two right here on these? You gotta keep these little rings separate. Raz did a good job by putting them aside. They're like the fine tuning ones per se. You know what I mean? Jump into that, but I think we'll get into the front end of this thing. Now there's like a lot of stuff you can change out on this too, but honestly I just do the front CVDs. These are the hop up ones, 5.3s. I like these ones. They, you know, you could actually even run these, but you gotta be careful, man. You gotta watch them because they will bend on you, you know, over time. Even, you know, yeah, actually, they bend pretty quickly. I don't know why my GoPro keeps turning off too, but, all right. So, I'm going to move this aside. And now we'll tackle the front. So, same thing. Alright, last little part right here. We're just going to take these, unlock these little hexes right here so that we can switch out the universal. And then once we get that universal swapped out, we're going to start putting it all right back together again. And yeah, it'd be pretty easy from there. Try to get rid of the chaos here in a second. So loosen that up. Oh, see, this is the one I was telling you about, how sometimes they get stuck in there, these pins. So, what I do is try to hold it with something. If you got like a vice grip, a vice on your table, cool. Get a metal punch, put it in the hole, bam, one hit. Usually gets it out. Make sure you're not squeezing it over top of the where the pin has to come out at. This one's, I like this punch better. It's got a skinnier tip. Bam. Punch, just pops it right out. You only have to do that when it gets stuck. So we'll get rid of that. Put in the big boys, 5.3s. Drop them in. Put it right back on. Now this is where you can use the shims and drop them in there and shim it out. Don't make it tight though. It does not help. You know, you just want it to be like at that perfect. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Don't forget, take the grub out of there, because the new 5.3 doesn't come with this grub screw in here. And if you're using the wheel locks, the double-sided wheel lock, you just take this out and you don't use it at all, because the screw itself is the actual hex lock. That's what makes the double wheel lock. And then that screw itself holds the cap on. So there you go. That's good like that. So this is all good. That one's ready. Let's push this stuff aside. Get it out the way here. So that one's ready. And now we'll come on to this one. Crack that bad boy. See if we get lucky. What do you think, huh? The pin's gonna fall out? Nope. Once again, play onto that. Make sure you got a good grip on that thing too, because if you go to push down on this, I don't know if you guys can even see this in the video, and you miss, man, that thing freaking pops you in the knuckle. You're gonna be one unhappy camper right there. Alright. I am gonna use the caps, but I just wanted to show you this so that you guys don't forget to do it. You can even start it and just put it in there. Alright, push that through. Alright. Tight. Bam. Alright, so now we got the bottom of them. Same thing with the rear that you did with the front. You get your blocks. Oh, what the hell? You get your blocks and you put them on using the hardware that came with this setup. And it's up to you. You can put Loctite on it, but it is 100% not needed with this stuff. Seriously, I made that mistake one time, and it was like every screw was like impossible to get off. It was a disaster. So put your pins on. Grab these. See this one? Look, you gotta watch it, guys. You see it? This one's got it right here. Sometimes they got them in there, sometimes they don't. Or maybe it's just the fronts. I don't know. You know? I feel like I got them in the rear before too, but sometimes you get them in there, sometimes you don't, I think. I don't know what goes on there. So every time like I do this, I always grab one, pull the damn things off that way, and cut it off and put it aside so I know to use it. Alright, so alright, let's see how I want to go about doing this. Alright, you gotta make sure you got them the right way. They got Iron Man logo. Make sure it's all facing the correct way so that you're putting it on there. There's a little indent right here. See how it's not on this side? It's on this side. That's for the cup. You know what I mean? When it's going up and down like that. If it's upside down, you know what I mean, that cup will rub. But especially when you're using the bigger cups too at that, you know, that I should have on here, but I didn't put it on this setup. So I figure I'm just going to let these ones run, and when they break, that's when I'll deal with it, you know. But Up until then, we'll see what happens. All right, so you can kind of see, I don't know if you could see in this video, they look like they come dead flush out, you know, and they do. So there's no plastic inserts here, so that's where these little washers come in. This is just snugs it up. So, ooh, yeah, that thing was open too. So what I do here is I grab them out. So you got 4 of them there, 2 on each side. Watch it, man. These things are definitely fine cut here. So get the 2 of them on there, and it's just right too. That's all you need. No binding or nothing. Get that on there. Now, like I said, on the V1s, you could take this plate and go put it right in the rear, and you no longer have them inserts. You don't even have to worry about it. It's going to be locked in place just like that. And that's the cool part about the, yeah, they feel good. So you take this and put it in the front rear, or I'm sorry, the rear, yes, the rear of the rear. And no more inserts. You don't got to worry about that no more. So you won't warp any of them out, and it'll be 0. But now, like I said, if you don't want a 0 toe, that ain't going to work for you. So let me grab a couple screws here that I did not pull out of the bag yet, I think. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to drop these on there. Like I said, this is all the stuff that it comes with, too, with the diff cases. Like I said, I love them things, man. I haven't had one fail me yet. Not one. I've got a lot of them. You know what I mean? So, I'm just building the car to the way it works for me, with it being strong and taking some serious crashes. Dude, I mean serious. So, you know, you're going to get damaged, but if you can make it so you get... See, now this one right here, look at this. This is a little too tight for my liking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the shim. That one, yeah, I'm going to take one out. So, I don't like it that tight. Sometimes you get them, and the anodizing is like, it makes it like just a little bit too big, and then sometimes it's a little thinner, so you need that shim. In this case, we didn't need it, but that's a good thing why they give them to you, though, because sometimes you need them, sometimes you don't, you know. Let's see. Try that right there. I'm going to try it without them. Let's see if I could put one in, because they both felt pretty similar, but this one felt a little bit tighter. Now, don't get me wrong. You want, oh yeah, see, I like that's reasonable. You want it to be a little tight. Like, your shocks are gonna work with that. You know, you don't want them like binding like super hard like that originally was with those shims in it. But just, you know what I mean? Just, yeah, that's good. So the shock can, you know, do its job, and it's gonna, you know what I mean, work the shock a little bit. But like I said, that's the way it seems to stay good and tight. And especially in the front end, you want all that stuff. These are good shims. So if you can, save these shims, because they're definitely useful. I like to get the car like just right in all those little spots, you know. Makes me feel better about it, I guess you could say. So, all right, now we got that in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these 2 pins in. All right. You got one in the front, the big one. You can use shims in this case. I know I don't have any right now because I just built a car yesterday, and I put a whole bunch of them on there, and I had to search for them, so I got to buy some. So for right now, I would put 3 here, 3 of these little washers that you come with the Scores package, and then 5 on the, I guess, the back side of the front end. So, you know, for right now, just put your little plastic inserts in there. These still work just fine. But I have noticed that after you've been ripping on them for a while, they get a little play in them, you know. So we're gonna put that in there, and in there, and then all at the same time. Actually. Alright. So, now you got all that set up. That's all good to go again. Last thing left that we have to do with the front end is the... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. There we go. Watch these pins. These pins can come through here. They'll pull out while you're working on it until you have the front bumper on. Once you got the front bumper on, it locks all that stuff back in. So, with these front shocks, all I do is remove the springs and I put the plastic back in there. So take out that one. I don't like these ones for the, I think they're a little too soft for what we're using. So you put the harder springs in there. These ones you might be able to fight on without having to, yeah. Because you're not really, there's not much of a ring there. It's the rear ones that you got to watch and do that trick with the zip ties. Because, there we go. Bam. These ones go on and compress pretty good. I run the stock oil in these. I don't change out my oil. I don't do none of that stuff, dude. I just put a hardened spring in the front, just like you're seeing right here. And in the rear is where all my magic happens for my springs, you know. So bam, they're ready. Straighten out the little ball, drop it in there, snap it in. Straighten out the ball, snap it in. Grab two of your little scorch washers again. A little miniature cap head. Two of them. And we'll be done with those for now. Flat spot cap. Thread that bad boy right on. Now here, I want to show you this. Now watch the joint right here. You see this? Look at that. See, it's stiffened right up. Bam. Now it's locked in. You want everything to get like that, nice and stiff. It still moves and functions the correct way it needs to. And then you got the little pivot balls right there. So everything does what it needs to do, but it's just way more secure now. And you start somersaulting this thing, shocks ain't gonna come off, you know. And then you're losing dog bones, they're flying out, all that other nonsense because all that just opened up, you know. So you don't want that. So just tighten them up. I mean, if you want to put a little blue Loctite on that, I think that'd be fine. You know what I mean? I don't see no problem with that at all. Yeah, so do that. We'll get these dropped into position. Right there. Should I find the other screw? Probably one that I've freaking lost. Alright. Alright, so there's the bulk of it right there. And like these, you can see all that play right there. You could just tighten that up a little bit. You get a nice strong servo, depending on what kind of servo you use. Some people like this like real loose like that. I actually like put a little tension on them because I know my servo is strong enough to power through it, and it just keeps everything like just sturdy. You know what I mean? In my speed run setup, I like things to be, you know, kind of stiff and all that, and I turn my end points down too because I don't want a lot of turning at those kind of speeds, and I don't want no fast turning at that kind of speed either. So if you get a strong servo, I use the Raz Perfect Pass ones. I always keep a bunch of these around, and that, you know, I don't have any issues and never had an issue with one. I got one car that's like X goofy, and I gotta check that one out. I don't know what's going on with that one, but I've got so many going on right now that I don't really even care. It's just one. I'll get to it eventually, you know. So, all right, let's get the majority of that stuff all out the way. I got that done. All that's done. All right, so now on to the servo saver delete, and we'll get all that. We're gonna see here. I like to put these ceramic ones in there. Not that it even matters. You could just use the stainless ones, but I don't like fighting. See, like this one's got stainless on it, but sometimes they get stuck in the other one, so I don't like fighting them out. I just swap them. You know what I mean? Save these ones. I'll put them over there. So eventually, if I ever need it, I can get it. And now we'll get on to that servo saver delete there, and I'll show you how to do that pretty easily too. All right, now David, he's got some. My nose is starting to run. I'm like looking down all this time, you know. So you gotta be really careful with this because there's 2 washers in here. They are some teeny washers. So make sure you don't lose them because they are crucial. When you're taking this stuff out, be very careful. You're not like, yeah, there they are right there, both of them. You don't want to fling them things, man. Yep. All right, cool. All right, cool. Everything's there. Make sure you open this up. Yeah, well, take your stickers or whatever you want, but make sure there's nothing in there. You know what I mean? That's like going to fall out. All right. Now, open this up. This is where it gets a little bit. There's some things going on here that I'm pretty sure most of you guys don't know or haven't noticed yet, you know. So I'm going to show you here what you got to do in order to make this work for space saving reasons per se. All right, so you got your servo saver delete, right? This is the way it would go normally. All right, works good. These are awesome. Takes a lot of the slop out of the vehicle. Now, you know, a lot of these duals are set up to where, you know, they're full. Ooh, look at that. I almost lost that one I was just telling you guys about. You got to watch out. All right, let me stop playing around with that. So you got a chassis. It's got a lot of room on it, or it doesn't have a lot of room on it, you know, and you need a lot of room because you want your packs in there. So what we've been doing, well, I should just speak for myself. What I've been doing is swapping them. So what I mean by that is the right or the left. Yeah, the right's going to go to the left and the left to the right. Now what that does do, let's put this one down for a second. What that does is it takes the arm, the servo arm, and it puts it directly over the drive shaft. So what that is giving me now is now I have all this room on the chassis. For me specifically, I run 8S packs, so I have to cram them in on either side, and you know I'm pretty much up against the drive shaft the whole time. So what we found out was running it the opposite way and running it underneath, it makes room for the packs or for whatever packs you're using. So what that looks like is this. So now we're underneath of it, and this is where I would connect my servo. Now I run an extension on it. This one isn't done yet. It's going to have an arm here and then the servo. So in all reality, what you end up with is, I don't know if I'm just going to grab any car here. So you lock them in, and now you end up with that. So this is what you're looking at there. That's what it's going to become, but to give you an idea, that's where you're at. This is a single motor speed run car. This one's done. So there you go. Figured it out. There you go. up that real quick. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put that together. All right. So we're going to start with these two. Set them up however you like to set them up. You know, you're going to get this arm. You're going to put the big one down, or the washer with the flange on it. I mean, bearing, excuse me, with the flange on it. You're going to get that little guy that I keep almost losing. You're going to lay that guy right there on top. Right on top of the bearing. And then with a medium size one, put that guy over that. And then you're going to get one of the screws, not the cap heads, just the little round head ones. Drop it right over top of everything. Put it in the first hole. And voila. Put a nut on it. So now we got the nut on there. And now kind of keep tension on this thing too the whole time if you can. Because you don't want that little bearing, little washer to kind of like get knocked out of place there. You want it to sit pretty much perfectly over it. So try to apply pressure on it and watch what you're doing there and don't over tighten it. Just snug. And it moves nice and smooth. Alright, repeat the same process. Flange from up underneath. Little one. Medium. And then, circle head, round head. First hole. And the nut. Alright. Since I let that go and I didn't put pressure on it the whole time, before you tighten it all the way down, make sure that it's set right. It's like set in its position where it wants to be. And then just give it a little bit of a turn. That's it. Alright, man, it's nice and smooth. Alright, so this is what I was talking about earlier, but it's easier just to take these off. So when you want to put it back on, it's a lot easier. You just get a cap, run it through the big washer, and then this. Run that in there. Now you gotta watch it too, which way you're doing this. You know, like we're doing a backwards setup here, so it's like kind of crazy. It's hard to, you know, don't get confused is what I'm saying. But this round part goes back. You know what I mean? Like the bump out faces forward. So just so you put that on there, right? Because if you don't, you're gonna be dealing with some rubbing, I think. I can't remember. I just know it ain't right, so don't do it. And make sure you got that facing in the right direction. It matters for something. Alright. Same thing with the other side. Bump out facing forward. Alright. When you're trying to do this like on the car, it's a pain in the ass. So it's best just take these off. It's a lot easier to do the knuckles than have it attached to the knuckles and try to do it this way. So it's better just to build it as is outside the vehicle and then just drop it in the vehicle. You know what I mean? Bam. Alright, so take these, drop them in, almost like a vacuum. Oh, that one dropped in a little bit, but the other one's like a vacuum. I like it like that. Alright, push that one up in there. Well, yeah, we just do one at a time actually, since we got the whole front end off. Anyway. So we got that there. Now I'm gonna use, where's this? Okay, right here. Make sure that little washer I said was a pain, don't lose it. And that one one's too short. So what we're gonna do is where's this? Oh, right here, right in front of my face actually. Like I said, do them one at a time. You don't have to like get these like super tight right now. Just get them on there. There we go. Alright. Now, let's hold this one up. And drop the other one in. This one's through. This screw's a little long here. I don't know why. I don't know what I did with the other one, but you can use any cap head. Like, I don't know, they'll work. But what you got to do is you got to watch what screw you're using now underneath of it. You know what I mean? Because they'll link together with some of the big screws. You don't want to, you know what I mean, hit each other. They won't tighten all the way, and they'll be slamming into each other. All right, so. Get your little pieces right here, the ones we took out earlier. Drop them in. Grab a little nut. Drop that on. Start it. Sink it in there. And then just tighten it up. You don't need to over tighten them either. You know what I mean? Snuggle that up. Same thing over here. They go on top of the knuckle. Don't go under the knuckle. You'll have binding issues then. And honestly, you're coming up on almost a finished product here. So now with this being said, when this is under there like that, right? What you got to do is, let me see here. I had the screw to the right here. So what you want to do with this is, all right, it's got to be put underneath, right? And then you're going to put this through, all right? You're going to select your hole, whatever one you want to use. I'll use a far one. Now I'm going to thread this one on there, right? But I got to show you something here. This is what you're going to have to do at this point. If you're going to run your car like this. Now, you don't need to do this if you got the room, especially with a single motor or something like that. If you're running a single motor, you definitely don't need to do this. But if you got, you know, some wild 8S packs, or you're running out of room and you got to do something for some odd reason and you need that space there. So now look, now it's stuck, right? It won't go in there. So what you got to do here, and on this screw, which is one of these round screws right here, this one, you're going to have to cut it. You cut that screw off, cut it, you know, you just got to be the thickness of the metal. So, you know, maybe take like 5 millimeters off of that, you know. Still does its job for what it needs. We're not going to talk about this screw, but cut it, all right? And this one right here, take your Dremel. You just want to take the head down a little bit so that it can fit smoothly under here. Might take a couple attempts, but you see, it's very little you have to just sand off of there. So now that's good, and then like I said, you'll cut this one, and then once that all feeds through, it doesn't hit, nothing like that, and you got, you know, normal working steering there. So I guess might as well get that ready right now, because I got one of these. We're about getting close to that point right there, so let me just knock that out real quick. Not trying to touch that guy. Scorching hot. I just want to make sure that it's not going to hit. Now this will have the carbon on it, so it's not even going to sink down that far. So that's a good way of just checking it right there like that. Save that guy because you will need it. So, alright. Now, what we can do is put the bumper on, because that's going to hold these front pins in. Pretty much all the pins. But before we do that, I like to take this off, because there's not really a need for this foam in there. I used to store my GPS in there. It was a good little spot. It worked. But with these other chassis, I like to have this out of here so that I have quicker access to like screws and stuff like that. That the foam kind of blocks you from getting to. So it ain't nothing really. Just open this up, disconnect it. That's it. And then you can snatch the foam out of there. Like I said, if you want, you can cut a square out right here, and you could slip, like in front of your bumper, you could slip it down in there, and it works for like a really good, safe, secure spot for your GPS. So let me see if I have one. Yes, I do. Actually, there's a couple of them here, but this is what it'll look like if you want to put your GPS in there. You just cut out the foam, and then you can pull this little front forward and slide it right in there, and it works. So I've done that forever, and this one breaks. Eventually they will rip. So, you know, if you guys don't want to like tape it all around something anywhere, it helps to just tuck it away in there, and it's a good little spot for it, you know. But do away with that, and then, you know what I mean, just tie it back together. Snap that in, snap that in. Make sure it's all good where you want it, and just screw it back together. Now you don't have like any of that other stuff getting in your way. It makes it a lot easier to get to. For future stuff, I tend to sometimes I'll break the locker pins in the front, you know, and this way you got access to get into the screws are in the front. So now we can slide that back on. Bam. Put this little pin in. Or not pin, damn screw. Oh, wait a minute. Don't use these screws. Always use all the screws that come with the cases. They give you a couple extras, so use them. All right. Bam, there you go. You got your whole front complete in. Our whole complete front end. God damn, can't even talk today, dude. Steering's good, nice and smooth. And like I said, you can tighten all that up, and that'll take this. This is just a little play in there. That's what makes it so loose like that. Like I said, some people like it that way. I don't like it that way. I put tension on it. So, you know, I know the servo is going to power through it anyway. Now, got our car over here. Bring this thing in. Remember that screw we cut? Save that guy. Put him right there. And that, just sit that there, whatever. Alright, grab a couple of these screws here. Alright, so now, just going to line it all up. Get everything in its position. Line a couple screws up in there. And we'll be good to go. So let me get these screws in real quick. At least two, and then I can flip it over. Shit. One would be alright, actually. Alright, so bam, and there you go. It's pretty much set up. Now, like, if you want, you would add your servo in there. Throw one of them guys on there. Add your little extension up, and then that's in. Drop the shafts in and all that. You know, fuck it. Guess we'll throw them in real quick. Why not? You can see where these are, right? I mean, I like it like that. Some guys like, you know what I mean? They want to tighten all that up. I like it that way, to be honest with you. I ain't had a problem yet with it, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh, shit. Yeah, watch that. There you go. Put these little spacers back on there. Where'd the other one go? MIA? That's all right. We got more of them. Oh, I see it right there. All right. Bam. Looks good. I guess you could put, you know what I mean? I would put it on the, yeah, maybe put one in the front. Let's see. We'll put one in the front. These little rubber O-rings right here, Raz gives you. They're good. They fit in the cup like perfectly. We'll put one in. That's not bad up here in the front. So they literally fit like perfectly. You could just slide them right in. Bleep. Push that forward. And they're good. See, even one, I like a little more play. Like that. I like that play. That feels good. It'll work. You know what I mean? I like it to have a little bit of movement in there. So, let's drop them bad boys back on there. That's good. Good. I always start with the one little screw I cut. That's got its specific spot there. Caddy corner it. sure everything lines up now. Figures. Yeah, man. There we go. Get that one little screw out of there. There it is. I guess we could do the other part too. The floating body mount. I mean, that's just Hobao product stuff. It's pretty straightforward. But I'm definitely gonna take a break. Just built a whole car on a friggin' YouTube video in like 2 hours. Fucking, it was a lot. So I'm gonna cancel the live for now. Everybody, thanks for watching. I'll check out the comments and all that stuff afterwards. I appreciate y'all. The YouTube stuff, we're gonna take a break and finish that in a little while. All right, thanks guys. GoPro, stop recording.